Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is a Protoss versus Zerg, where we find ourselves on the map Simulacrum. Now, I just got my hands on a couple of new replay packs, and basically what I did is I put them all in one big folder, loaded them into StarCraft 2, and then selected the longest game that has been played over the last couple of weeks for me to go ahead and cast. So I have no idea what to expect, but generally speaking, at least in my experience, the really long games are the really good ones. So I guess we will find out together. So spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner of Simulacrum, playing with the green Protoss probes from South Korea, we're looking inside of the main base of Creator. Now, Creator, already doing the Protoss thing that has become very popular over the last couple of weeks. I mean, this used to be very popular back in, I think like 2015, 2016 or so. Basically just trying to force the Zerg player to take the third base here instead. It's once again made a bit of a comeback. Just to, I guess, throw the Zerg players off. Because, I mean, the Zerg right now is going to be forced to, like, make an extra set of Zerglings to defend against the first adept. And it just sort of, like, messes up the macro quite a bit. Now, playing here with the red Zerg drones from Canada, we're looking inside of the main base of Scarlett. Alrighty, so here we go. This should be a really fun match. We'll find out together. So, as of me making a video on Alugalek, Scarlett is considered to be the current rank 29 in the world, and Creator currently the rank 24. Now, I'm pretty sure most StarCraft fans are very familiar with Scarlett. I mean, she's been around for a very long time, but really the same can be said for Creator as well. Creator, he's a very, very strong Protoss player, but I think he's oftentimes overlooked, right? So he's on a team called Jin Air Greenwings, and Jin Air Greenwings is without a shadow of a doubt the strongest team in StarCraft 2 right now, and they have been for many years. Although some might make the argument that that Team Ents is a little bit better just because they have Serral, and I believe he's their only player. But regardless, Jin Air, I mean, they've got names like, for example, Maru, Rogue, SOS, Trap, and then also Creator. Now, SOS, another Protoss player, he won the World Championship Series, so he was the World Champion of StarCraft 2 twice, right? And Trap, I mean, he's recently made several GSL Grand Finals. Trap, another very, very powerful Protoss player. And Creator, I mean, he's sort of like, I mean, it's in the nicest way, right? I don't want to be rude about it, but he's kind of like living in the shadow of these two Protoss players. And I think because of that, oftentimes you get very quickly overlooked. This is the case in conventional sports as well, right? Like traditional sports. Generally speaking, if you're not the very best, not a whole lot of people are going to be talking about you. And it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of shitty, I guess. But it's just how competition works, right? Anyways, it is going to be a Twilight Council opener here from Creator. We'll have to see what he decides to go for. Now, since this is indeed a long match, I can imagine that it is going to be a game that is all about Skytoss, right? Skytoss, generally speaking, the late game unit composition. We'll talk about it more if we get to it. A couple of Zerglings, though, run in before the Stalker is out, and this is nicely done here by Scarlett. That does now mean that she scouts everything. This is another recent development, actually, over the last couple of months. Ever since IEM Katowice. Oh, yeah, she does actually get a probe. That's nice. Since IEM Katowice, these kind of like Twilight Council openers have once again become very, very popular. So we saw Zest, for example, win against, I think it was Serral and Rogue? Actually, I don't know if it was Rogue. I think it may have been Sue. Anyways, long story short, Zest ended up winning with a couple of, like, cheeky Twilight Council builds against some of the best Zerg players in the world. And ever since then, these build orders once again have made a comeback. Now, this is not going to be a Blink Stalker opener. It's not going to be Charge Slots. It's not going to be Glaive Adepts. But instead, it will be a Dark Shrine opener. Little bit of an order build. So, this was very popular a couple of years ago. Zerg players just got very, very good at dealing with the Dark Templar and then obviously into the Archon wave as well. That's usually the follow-up. So, you warp in like 3 to 4 Dark Templar initially and then you follow them up with some Archon drops instead. Pretty annoying strategy to have to go up against a Zerg, but like I said, the Zerg players have gotten very, very good at dealing with it. So, this is mostly just to put on a little bit of pressure to keep the Zerg player in check and then to, you know, allow this to build up towards a third Nexus here instead. In the meantime, though, on the other side of the map, Scarlett did already start up a lair. Pretty quick lair. She's actually saturating the third base here entirely before making any workers for the natural. Interesting. So there's a Spore Crawler coming up as well. A few Adepts are now moving across. So this is kind of cool, right? So while it is a Dark Templar opener, this Scout right here, yep, this will probably make Scarlett assume that it's not actually a Dark Shrine build, but like a Glaive Adept build instead. A little bit cheeky. There's one DT though, and this Overlord does see everything. I mean, doesn't see anything, but it does see the actual warp in, I suppose. Yeah, lair is done. Oh my god, the tricks! I do like the trick. Overseer is coming up. It's just 1 DT though, so I don't really see it dealing that much damage. At the same time, Zerglings did go in for the counter-attack as well. They killed the Stalker, but for now, at least the third base does live. So I think actually the trick worked out really nicely there for Creator, but sadly he couldn't capitalize on it. So showing a couple of adepts, forcing the council there on the Spore Crawler then as well. I guess not forcing it, right? But just, making Scarlett assume that it was a Glaive Adept opener. She decided to cancel the Spore and then start making a lot of roaches instead. A little bit cheeky, but because of that Zergling counter-attack, I think that Creator was probably forced to maybe like warp in a couple of units at home. So the push sort of failed. Alright. Doesn't matter though that no damage will be done at all. Generally speaking, Protoss players are looking for as many worker kills as they can get. You want to get at least like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or so. Generally speaking though, just forcing out a ton of units. I mean, that's obviously also essentially like killing drones, right? You want to slow down the Zerg's economy here, and while forcing them to make units also immediately causes you to slow down their economy indirectly. Regardless though, it will be a Spire follow-up right now from Scarlett, so she teched up to a pretty quick lair. And now with the saturation pretty much done here on minerals, I wouldn't be surprised, yep, to see the gases going down here in the natural too. Blink, though, will be coming up here as the very first upgrade. So while Creator hasn't quite seen the Spire yet, he knows that the option certainly is there. And, well, for now, he's mostly just, he's playing the Janitor crew right here, okay, with the War Prism. This is basically what happens when you reach top-level StarCraft 2. Since players get so very good at defending, this goes for both ZVT and then also ZVP. Just simply killing up the creep tumors is apparently the damage that they're looking for. Now, Creator, ooh, he did fly it all the way into the natural, and right now he will also see the third. He does see the 6 gases, but it doesn't really tell you all too much. He doesn't know about the potential for Spire units here just yet. He did already get himself that Blink Stalker upgrade though, so that will certainly help out quite a bit, although does need to get Stalkers, right? So there's only 1 Stalker at this point. A couple more though will be warped in here. I think that this is a hit squad primarily designed to try and kill that 4th base. Scarlett apparently making 7 Overlords right now. That's kind of interesting. She may have hit a bit of a supply block there. Already though, Creator looked at that army and realized, don't really want to fight that. Instead, he's now just gotta go all the way back home, which works out for Scarlett just fine. She's actually all the way up to 200 supply worth of Overlords already, and then she's adding on more. This is something that Elaser does a lot. It's become a bit of a meme in the StarCraft community, but the Zerg player Elaser, he's very well known for making like tons of Overlords even when already at 200 supply. Scarlett apparently believed that she saw a little observer there. Not the case though. She probably thought she saw the little shimmer and then tried to bile it down. Alright, so a little bit of harassment here, but all things considered, this is a pretty macro-focused game so far. Mutas are now out, so they're flying across the map already. The little flippy flappies. I mean, they're waiting for more flippy flappies before apparently they want to move in. So a couple more were indeed produced. Creator, do you have defenses in check? He does. So photon cannon in every single mineral line. We see High Templar coming up. There's even... Yeah, this is not going to deal that much damage, right? This is mostly just, though, to, like, keep this Protoss player pinned back. That's usually the idea behind it. So this is a strategy that buys you a lot of time. A couple of... ooh, Mutas actually got killed pretty much for free. Blink is available. Okay, no blink forward. But, yeah, just killing those Mutas basically free. No real worker kills just yet. I mean, a couple of workers here in total, but that's nothing all too scary. And while the Zerg player does now manage to max out, this Zerg army is not nearly as menacing as this Protoss army, right? I would say that this Protoss army can definitely take a head-on fight with the Zerg army, despite being 50 supply less. And obviously at 200 supply, I mean, Scarlett is going to be maxed out, and this Protoss army is only going to get more powerful. So Scarlett kind of relied there on dealing some damage, and she hasn't really done a whole lot of it just yet. Also, only just now starting up the Baling Nest upgrade and also the Evo Chamber upgrade. You can't really go for a follow-up push very easily either, because you need at least Baling speed if you want to go for like a big Roach Ravager Link Bane assault, right? So great play so far here by Creator. Although this Prism, yeah, it's not going to happen. That Prism earlier, very, very helpful. This time around, though, it fell apparently into the abyss, that Simulacrum. Where do you think Simulacrum is located, by the way? You think this is like on top of like a big building in the city of Simulacrum? I don't know. I wish there was like a little bit more backstory, right? If you look at like the background over here, it's noticeable that there is, I don't know, some sort of skyline going on. Do you think this is like on top of a city? That's pretty cool. Anyways. Oh, a little bit of damage being done here. Gotta get what you can get, right? These mutas kind of lose value over time, so at some point they just sort of become a dedicated like counter-attack squad, and maybe you can kill a couple of war prisms with them if you get lucky. But you really do want to, yeah, you want to get a little bit more damage done, just like a couple of probe kills here. The real issue right now for the Zerg is that Protoss army, like this Protoss force over here, it's just going to get more and more powerful. And there's going to be a very, very strong timing attack as soon as Protoss maxes out. And we're only a little bit away from that. That's going to be a very tough force to hold. Is there Storm out? Ooh, okay. Wait, what? Yeah, there is a Templar Archives. We just haven't seen the research for Psionic Storm instead. So that's a pretty interesting follow-up right here from the Protoss. Most of the time, rather than already a Stargate transition, we see a High Templar transition with Psionic Storm. Seems crazy to me as a Zerg player by heart to not go for Psionic Storm. Psionic Storm is so powerful. But I guess that Creator is, he's gonna need it with whatever he wants to go for, right? Couple of Banelings, making their way towards the mineral line. Okay, they will be able to get a couple of probe kills there. So that's 18 worker kills right now in total. I think that's about 10 more. Archons right there holding the door quite nicely. At the same time, Zerglings engaging over here, but they will only find death. And they kill nothing. At the same time, the Roach Ravager force now also engaging with the Archon Immortal squad over there. And great defense once again here from Creator. Now, the thing is, I guess he wants to go really straight up into carriers here, which is exactly what he's doing. So he's already going for the carrier ships, which is awesome. The thing is, if you really want to make use of carriers, though, you still need to get Psionic Storm anyway. Like, maxed out carrier is not that scary. Maxed out carrier with Psionic Storm, that's when the army becomes terrifying. So this is kind of interesting to me to not see the Psionic Storm upgrade here at all. He's gonna need to get it here eventually, I suppose, but maybe he wants to max out first. So here's that maxed out army, though. I mean, once these carriers finish up, there they are. They're gonna really add a ton of additional value right here to this Protoss force. At the same time, though, on the side of Zerg, Scarlett is going very Zergling heavy, but that means that she's saving up a bunch of gas. You can see already she's been maxed out for a while, sitting at a very healthy bank already. She's got the Greater Spire. So sadly, these Zerglings probably won't be able to get much done either. I believe we saw the Greater Spire. There it is. Yep. So Greater Spire here inside of that main base. Corruptors are coming up too. I wonder if the timing right here of these carriers is going to catch Scarlett off guard, though. Because, I mean, these are really, really quick. If she morphs in, like... So, say, like, she morphs in only... What are they called? Brute Lords right now. So, there's going to be, like, 8 Brute Lords out. And the only units here for anti-air are going to be a couple of Ravages and then, like, 5 Mutas, right? This can actually work. Well, Mutas are no longer an anti-air unit. Okay, well, they are, but... not as useful anymore now. 5th base is being secured. And, well, apparently a recall will be forced on over towards this location. A couple of roaches only, though, but this is just keeping the Protoss player pinned back right now. Here's the thing about Skytoss, okay? Skytoss is in this weird state right now, where at the highest level of play... Actually, let me put it out like this. Anywhere below the highest level of play... All Zerg players suck against Skytoss, okay? And that includes myself as well. I'm pretty decent at the game, but I really don't feel confident at all about playing against Skytoss. Okay, the Adepts will actually get picked off just to open up more supply, apparently. Oh my god. Yo, that's a little bit aggressive. Really wanted to get the mothership, huh? At the highest level of play, though, Skytoss is considered to be a very mid-tier unit composition. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not considered to be great either. That's the reason why we're seeing a buff to the High Templar in the next multiplayer balance patch. I still think that's a little bit of a shaky buff at best, but long story short, if you manage to micro your Infestor, Viper, Corruptor, Brute Lord, like your super late game unit composition really well, you can deal an awful lot of damage playing with the Zerg units. Now this is great though by Creator. Killing a couple of these bases is going to reduce the bank of the Zerg by quite a bit. Here already, do we see the Pathogen Glands upgrade coming up? That's the Infestor Energy upgrade. This base almost ended up falling here as well. And I guess top-level Zerg players like Scarlett, I mean, they're capable of microing all of those different spellcasters and all of those different units at once to punish any missteps from the Protoss. So it's quite surprising to me that Creator has decided to go straight into Skytoss, apparently feeling confident enough that he can win with that style. Even now going for the Shadow Stride ability. That's the Dark Templar Blink. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we have some ultimate late game here. Oh, what? It could have gotten the final hit for sure. Okay, well, this base is as good as dead. Don't use the Viper. Don't use the consumability. Yeah, this base is... I wonder if he actually doesn't want to kill it right now and then replace it. Might be easier that way. Just get it over with, man. It's gonna die. Alright, so... Very passive game though, right? Like, we're 15 minutes into this right now, almost 16. And really all we've had so far is minor skirmishes. That's kind of what I was expecting here, but also kind of what I was hoping for, because this is not something I've really seen over the last couple of years. Like, really since, well, maybe not last couple of years, but really since, like, the new multiplayer balance patch arrived, this is back in November, these kind of games have just been considered to be in favor of Zerg. Now, I don't know if they still are. It's been a long time since I've seen this at the highest level. So I guess we'll learn together, right? My gut instinct is yes, it probably still will be. But we'll find out. We'll find out. By the way, only just now is when we see a high Templar coming up. So that's kind of crazy. So Sonic Storm is being researched right now after we see Shadow Strike. That's pretty uncommon, huh? Well, this is the moment in the game anyway where Creator doesn't really want to have these Immortals anymore. So, yeah. Trading them out against a couple of Roaches, totally fine. I guess likewise also, though, Scarlett doesn't really want to have their Roaches anymore. So she's got an awful lot of Corruptors right now, by the way. So she's going to bring that all the way up to like 20. There's going to be double upgrades here in these Spires. So that's going to make that that Sky Zerg army way, way, way more terrifying too. But look at this, right? So this is a unit composition that's based around so many spellcasters for Zerg that it's very difficult to actually micro correctly. So while the Zerg army is occupied over here, though, the Protoss army is now moving out on the bottom section of the map. A lot of these units are being picked off. Units that you don't want to lose in the mid game, but that are almost worthless in the late game. Funny how that works. Anyways, there we do see now additional carriers coming up. And this is going to be a very, very strong Skytoss army, though. I love this as well. Look at that. Double Cybernetics Core. Also, the one that's less exposed is going to be the one researching weapon upgrades, which is certainly the most powerful upgrade here, because all of the little interceptor ships benefit from it. I guess they do from the Carapace up or the Flyer armor upgrades as well, but yeah, there's no denying that the interceptor damage gets way better when you get the upgrades there. Anyways, so here we go. What Zerg is looking to do right now is exactly that. Thank you for showcasing it, Scarlett. Basically, what she's looking to do right now is abduct as many of these Protoss units as possible and then pick them off, right? The micro there, pretty tricky, manageable though. Once the actual big fight happens, that's when we also want to see Neural Parasite from the Infestors and maybe Fungal Growth as well to prevent this Protoss player from retreating. At the same time, she has to make sure that there's going to be some creep down, that she has enough Spore Crawlers in play as well to actually engage this army efficiently. Protoss is primarily looking right now for a mistake. So I think in the late game... Oh, Storm. There you go. I think in the late game, it primarily comes down to the Zerg player making a mistake. And because of that, it's very difficult for Protoss to actually get a good engagement going. Now, obviously, if she does make a mistake, I mean, Creator can easily engage this. It's one of those unit compositions that very, very quickly gets out of control, though. So, like, if you make one mistake, right, as Zerg here, yeah, you can remax really fast, but, ooh, there we go. There's Mothership! Does get picked off almost immediately. Big Storm, though. That's what I mean. There's very little counterplay right there for Protoss to make that easier. So the big counterplay there is trying to feedback these Vipers. So feedback is a high Templar spell that removes the energy out of a unit, which is great and all, and it deals a little bit of damage too and all that, right? But, I mean, if the Viper manages to get the Abduct off, the Mothership is gone, and that's like 400 down the drain. Very expensive unit to lose, takes a long time to build, takes a very long time to get energy as well, so that's like 2 or 3 minutes or so down the drain right there for Creator. It's not even the cost that matters so much, because, I mean, yeah, it's annoying, but it's really not the problem. They've got enough money at this point in the game It's just that it allows a lot of tempo advantage right now for Zerg, because Zerg is just going to add on additional static defense, make that unit composition even more powerful by making more gas-heavy units. And yeah, it's not easy to execute by any stretch for Zerg here, right? But I think on paper, it is a unit composition that is favored by Zerg if microed correctly. I think another issue that I've got with like carriers in general, and feel free to let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. Carriers are about as good in the hands of like your average like diamond level player as they are in the hands of like creator, right? So top level players, they're gonna be about as good at controlling carriers as like, you know, people in diamond league, right? Most of the micro of carriers comes down to attack moving. There's really not that much you can do. Target firing doesn't really help you very much, and I think that's something that I would like to see changed. I wish carriers would create more value if microed better, and less valued if not microed at all. So if you're attack moving them, I wish they did less damage. And if you're microing them, I wish they did more damage. Now, I don't know how, but... Okay, here we go once again. There's the Vipers. They do get feedbacked. Or fat-backed? Fat-beaked. That's it, yes. They feed-beaked them. Excellent. Yeah, they did manage to just now get the snipe once again. Also, though, a base was killed during the bottom left-hand corner, but the same can be said for the top right-hand corner. Pretty sure there was a Protoss expansion here earlier, but Scarlett managed to clean that up. Now, look at the banks right now, though. I wasn't actually paying attention there for a little bit. It's mostly gas that's relevant. So, Zerg does want to remax with Corruptors, usually in these kind of moments as well, but, I mean, Infestors are very, very helpful, and gas is really like the limiting resource. You get, resource, rather. You get minerals really quite quickly. So that's one number right here to keep in mind. I actually think that I favor this bank right now for Scarlett, which may be a little bit weird because, I mean, the mineral count here is certainly in Creator's favor. But, I mean, what is Creator going to do with minerals, right? Is he going to make Zealots? I guess he could, but really not going to happen. I mean, maybe some run-bys or something like that. But, I mean, he's maxed out. He's not going to be able to use that right now. Here we go. Once again, Viper. Ooh, that was nice. That was really good. That's what we need to see here from Creator. So that's the kind of ability they're buffing up in the next patch. They're basically increasing the range of the High Templar for the feedback ability by 1. So feedbacks are going to be a little bit easier. It's funny how this kind of engagement feels like a fight between Corruptors and Carriers, but really it's a battle between Vipers and High Templar. Okay. Good fight here so far, though, by Creator, playing very cautiously, trying to kill whatever. Another thing actually to keep in mind here, too, is that the little interceptor ships cost money. So that's really like the main mineral expenditure right now for Creator. So every single time he loses an interceptor, he's going to have to replace that with another one. They're 15 mineral each. This SimCity over here, though, very, very difficult to break, right? What exactly is Zerg going to do? New base here acquired in the bottom left-hand corner once again by Scarlett, but, ooh, I like this. Creator is getting into a position where, yeah, he can continue mining over here as well. This will likely also come down primarily to who can, like, mine more. So, yes, like, the micro in the big battle is going to be huge and very, very important. But, I mean, obviously, obviously making sure that you can actually replenish the army as well after losing it is super critical. So, how many Stargates are we on right now? Yes, 7. Okay. So, Creator is certainly planning on losing this army and then remaking more carriers. Obviously, Zerg does have the advantage there as well because they can remax pretty much immediately, right? Within like 30 seconds, there's going to be a new 200 army, assuming Scarlett wants to spend the entire bank. Notice as well, like, she's not really trying to get a huge bank here. She's just adding on a ton of static defense instead. These Spore Crawlers, really, really helpful here too. Oh, wow. Now, this is the kind of mistake, though, that can end the game real fast. That's like me playing, okay? Like, I do this all the time. Super easy to look at and then, like, think, oh my god, I can do that better. But honestly, since there's so many things going on, and you gotta, like, keep track of so many things, it's not uncommon. But obviously, you don't really want to have that happen. Okay. Once again, is he gonna be able to get some feedbacks? Is he gonna be able to get some sonic storms? Not quite. This is once again a really good fight right here for Creator, though. At the same time, a couple of the units are moving over here towards another base too, but Scarlett decides to back off. Very high level move there. I think a lot of us would try to fight this. She's looking right now for the feedback, or rather for the abduct, but the feedback does come up, and that now prevents it from being abducted once again. Alrighty, so good control. Good control so far by Creator. But it can go downhill very fast. I've seen it happen so many times where all of a sudden the mothership gets abducted, the storms get dodged, and then all of a sudden the Zerg kills everything with just a handful of corruptors in like 5 seconds time. Okay. We're gonna clash though at some point, right? I don't know if it is right now or if it's not. Good storms. Those Brute Lords taking a lot of damage. Forcing these High Templar to stay back, and the Archons. Actually, are there any Archons? No, there's no Archons yet. Quite surprised by that, actually. A couple of Archons underneath can make a huge difference. Thing is, obviously, Corruptors clump up and Archons deal splash damage. So I would like to see a couple. I think that's maybe what Creator is trying to add on right here as well. Spore Crawler is right now in a good spot, though. And once again, feedback. Once more. Beautifully done right there by Creator. Showing us the way that you're supposed to do this. It's not easy. But, yeah, he's doing a great job so far. I saw a couple of High Templar being or Dark Templar being warped in, but I guess that's this Archon over here. Fair. Okay, good storms. Once again, High Templar moving forward, or rather Hydra's moving forward, getting absolutely nothing done. There's a lot of Spore Crawlers, though, dealing a lot of damage. Now, we do indeed see the Time Warp coming up as well. That's an attack speed reduction. Oh, that's a lot of Corruptors, though, and this is what I mean. The Corruptors right now diving on top of as much as this Protoss army as they can. Couple of the Neuroparasites there being used as well. And now with the High Templar gone, the Brute Lords have cleaned all of them up. The Corruptors can just go to town on so much of this Protoss army. Carriers desperately trying to retreat. And this right here is the reason why we don't see a lot of late-game Protoss versus Zerg. It takes one misstep. And obviously that was a misplay right there by Creator, right? Staying is, or overstaying is welcome for just a little bit too long. But then all of a sudden, that army is gone. Now, he is remaking it. There we go. 7 of these carriers coming up. Mothership already coming up as well. But that's going to take a long time. So, he's trying to buy time right now. Making a whole lot of Zealots. Making a bunch of Dark Templar. Just simply moving past the static defense. Trying to go after a base that's not even mining. So, I don't really know necessarily if this base really matters. Yeah. Apparently, he decides to think better of it as well. But this is buying time. And that's the most important part. Corruptors don't have the ability here really to like capitalize on it, so you can capitalize obviously with a couple of Brute Lords, but not really with these carriers, or not really right there with those Corruptors rather. There's the Brute army moving forward once again. A couple of Infestors are also available. Okay, so it's gonna be Tempest here, or rather Void Rays here as a follow-up too, and then also a bunch of Archons. So I like this idea a lot. But you can see the problem here, right? Now, the thing is, if you buff any of the late-game units... So, say like a solution here would be to add a little bit of additional HP to the carrier, right? To allow them to be in a better position against, say, Corruptors, right? Or say, like, I don't know, give the... what are they called? Like, the carriers a spell or something like that, right? You basically make them a little bit more useful in battle. Maybe that would balance the pro level, but on the ladder, basically everyone below like 6,000 MMR is gonna be fighting Protoss players that are sitting back the entire game long, not doing anything until they max out. Now, I do think we should be balancing primarily around the top level, but, I mean, you can't really do that while disregarding literally everyone else that plays this game, right? Because I don't think a lot of people enjoy playing against this kind of style as it is from the Zerg perspective. Because, I mean, most people would just be able to A-move with this kind of unit composition and win. Like, storm, 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 A-move, win, right? But it's a delicate balance. It's a very difficult balance to strike. So I think, like, I don't know, making the carriers less A-movey and more valuable when microed correctly, I think that might be the way to do it. I'm not sure, though. I don't really know. Oh, once again. Oh, double abduct. Mothership does get recalled, but not in time. And there it is. Once again, gets picked off. This is what people call the minus 400 meme. I actually do disagree with that one. I think the Mothership is very helpful. But, yeah, this is pretty frustrating so far, right? It hasn't really been able to do that much right here for Creator. Oh, wow. He knows that there is a burrowed Zergling, so... Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. He's trying to use the splash damage. Oh, get him! Oh my god, really? Really? At the same time, though, the Hydroling Bane army moving forward, also engaging a base here that has nothing. But I guess this is still going to kill some static defense, making maybe a later advancement of the Zerg a little bit easier. Oh my god. Finally, though. Oh no, it's the Zergling actually that unburrowed and now is burrowing again. Ah! This is so frustrating for the Protoss. The cheekiest Zergling I've ever seen. Well, Hydras, they really suck in the late game, right? They are really not a unit that you really want to have in the late game. I mean, you can kind of have them to clean stuff up, and it's nice to have like a hit squad of them to like clean up, like say like a bunch of Zealots or Dark Templar to decide to run by as well. But they're not going to be particularly useful against High Templar in particular. This Protoss army is still terrifying though. I'm talking as if Creator is already defeated, but that's really not the case. Maybe I'm not though. It sounded that way, at least in my ears, but... No, this is still certainly anyone's game. It's just that in general, this is the reason why Skytoss is not popular at the pro level right now. Alright. Oof. Is this good? I'm not sure. Yeah, those spore crawlers, man. Those spore crawlers deal so much damage. Thing is, though, without the spore crawlers, Zerg would really suck, and I can't get anything done against this army. So, I don't know. It's very, like, there really is a delicate balance. If you have any suggestions of what Blizzard should change about this kind of thing, because I do think there should be a change. Well, hold that thought, because we do see some huge storms going down right there on all of those Corruptors. Corruptors now all of a sudden at, like, I don't know, 50% health. Very, very significant. At the same time, we do also see a Parasitic Bomb coming up, but, I mean, Protoss units really don't care about Parasitic Bomb very much. Once again, an abduct, and once again... Oof. We do now see the mothership being picked off. Alright. Now, actually, this is the moment, apparently, where Scarlett decides to collapse on all of this army. There is now a couple of Archons underneath, or there were at least. That does now mean that a lot of those Corruptors are very low in health. We do also see a fungal growth coming up here on the carriers. They're desperately trying to split here as much as they can. Most of those Zerg anti-air units, though, right now are picked off. And that means that the Brute Lords are in a world of trouble. Beautiful move right there by Creator. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that Scarlett decided to engage that far off creep without any Spore Crawler support. Yeah. Okay, Scarlett is now broke. Look at that. She's got 4 Corruptors coming up. I mean, she does have a couple already. A couple of the Vipers coming up. A few Infestors here too. Okay, well, maybe this wasn't so bad for the Protoss player then after all, huh? But that's basically what you're looking for, though. And I still don't think that is necessarily a great scenario. Because, I mean, if your win condition is waiting for a mistake from the Zerg, that's probably not ideal, right? It's mostly an error on the Zerg side of things at that point than an amazing play by the Protoss player. Anyways, if you have a suggestion on what they should change about this kind of thing, let me know down below in the comment section. And please don't say that you shouldn't be able to abduct motherships, because that's a really dumb suggestion. Because, I mean, if mothership wouldn't be abductable, then Zerg would not be able to do anything against it. Right? And that becomes super death bowling. So there has to be a balance between making sure that it's still playable on the ladder, making it more balanced, so a little bit more Protoss favored, I would say, at the pro level. But then also simultaneously not so much that it's gonna be to the point where Protoss players are never gonna attack before they max out. I don't think there's an easy solution. I think it might need a bigger redesign than like one little small balance change. But let me know. Maybe someone has like a brilliant idea in the comment section. And obviously if you do, I can always help you forward it and maybe we can get it going. Maybe we can organize something, guys. I'm not a game designer, but I do think I've gotten pretty good at like analyzing and maybe pinpointing some of those like game design errors, right? I'm not a balance designer, but I think game design wise, the whole like maxing out and then never attacking kind of move, it sucks. It's what we saw for a long time from Zerg players with the Brute Lord Infesta army, where they basically never attacked, right? And they would just like sit there until they were maxed out on Brute Lord Infesta, and then they would finally move out. I thought that was really dumb, and it like really does not promote a very exciting game at all, right? If all Zerg was doing there for a long time was just defend, 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 and then eventually they'd go in for like a big attack because they're maxed out in the impossible to kill army, I mean, that's not what we want either. So it's difficult. I don't really have a solution. But yeah. That's also my problem, right? So they're basically going to add one additional range there to the High Templar to make the feedbacking a little bit easier. And I guess that will help out quite a bit, but it's like a band-aid. It doesn't really seem to like solve the actual problem. Anyways, rant mode disabled. Let's have a look at what this game is going to be like instead. Kind of feel like Scarlett may have been able to do like a really big run by over here with Zerglings. If she managed to get Zerglings right here into the natural, that would be a very, very big issue. Look at the creep spread, by the way. This is what Scarlett made famous, or what made Scarlett famous, rather, a couple of years ago. Before anyone else was good at creep spreading, she was doing it for a long time already. And this is a painful army right now to fight, right? Because anywhere you go, Zerg is going to be fighting you on creep. Here's once again Mothership number 74 coming up. How many have gone down so far? 4. Huh. Okay. This is, I think, still anyone's game, to be honest. Despite Scarlett making a mistake earlier, and obviously Creator making a mistake before that, both now have made a mistake each, and that kind of, it's sort of like evened up the score. Now, one thing I'm quite surprised by is that Scarlett, or rather, Creator here only has +1 ground weapon, or ground armor upgrades, rather. I guess, I mean, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, actually, never mind. I mean, Archons, they have like 5 health, right? Excuse me. They have like 5 health, or 10 health, rather. So they don't really benefit from those upgrades very much at all. Still would have probably been okay to see. Or maybe it's actually really smart that he's not making it. Okay, so this Protoss army is once again gonna max out here in just a little bit. If we look right here at resources lost, all things considered, it's relatively even. I think as far as like bases mined goes, though, I mean, yeah, Protoss has been... Well, you know what? I say that. No, it's actually been pretty even. You know what? It's actually, like, both players have been able to mine 50% of the bases, it seems. That's when these spore crawlers, though, become super painful, and when, like, paying the price for interceptors also becomes very painful, because you can't really engage this very easily. Because every time you engage, you lose a couple of interceptors, and then you lose a lot. Oh my god, once again, Mothership number... Oh my... No. Oh... I think motherships can be good, but the way they're being used so far is really not that amazing. Now, are we really gonna now get this into what seems to be a bit of a strange base race kind of scenario? So Protoss right now, losing the base in the bottom left-hand corner here potentially. Once again, though, a couple of carriers here get abducted. Where's the High Templar? High Templar, hello, wake up! That's a lot of damage right now being done here by those Corruptors. We do see a fungal growth coming up here as well on the High Templar. Oh my god, one of the carriers there gets... oh no, it's one of the High Templar there that gets feedback, or neuroparasited rather, and then decided to storm his own carriers. That's a little bit painful. Base in the bottom left-hand corner falls. Base over here fell as well, but that was a disastrous fight right there for Creator. Decided to split up the units there a little bit awkwardly, leaving like 4 carriers over there and having the other carriers over here with the High Templar. Not really an ideal move. I also don't see an observer here anymore. Although there is an observer somewhere. Wait, where is it? It's supposed to be here on the screen somewhere. Wait. Yeah, it is somewhere over here. I don't see it right now, but it might be in the middle of my screen and I've just not noticed it. Okay, a lot of creeps still available. At the same time, though, the Brute Lords, they're now moving in to the final mining base right here of the Protoss. I mean, there's no more money. This is the army that Protoss is gonna have. The bank has been spent. 56 minerals, 88 gas. This one Archon, though, getting his money's worth for sure. But I think that might just be a little bit too much Zerg at this point. Scarlett, yeah. Mining out most of the map. She's still got a little bit of income, but she does have a very scary force, right? So 27 Corruptors, and then also those Infestors and Vipers. They have really been the heroes of this game. Oh, once again, yeah, a couple of units get abducted. Oh, it's so painful. Oof. And yeah, eventually, Creator does decide to GG out. I think he had a couple of moments in this game where he could have won, right? But that mistake there, splitting off the units, that really was not a great idea. Like, splitting up that army without the High Templar, I think that was a mistake, though. I don't think that was an intentional split off. I think they may have just been, like, left on the low ground there, and then the Corruptors came in, killed, like, 3 of them for free. High Templar weren't there in time. One of the High Templar got neuraled and then stormed as well. Like, all of it adds up very, very quickly. And Scarlett eventually obtains the victory. Now, here's one change that I've suggested in the past. You know how, like, in StarCraft 1, there's the unit called the Arbiter. And the Arbiter, basically the way you can see it is like a little mini mothership, except that you can make multiples of it. I wonder if, rather than like not allowing the mothership to be abducted, I wonder if that should be a change instead. So maybe allow Protoss to not make like one mothership, but allow them to like make like, I don't know, multiples of smaller motherships, right? And then they can all have like the recall ability, so you can recall your Protoss late game army all over the place. That would be pretty sick, right? So you send in one of the little mini motherships, and then you recall your army there, and then another mothership is in the bottom left-hand corner, and you recall over there instead. So you create some more mobility there for the Protoss, and maybe that would allow Protoss to get behind those Spore Crawler walls as well and deal some damage there, and then teleport back home if they need to. I think that would be cool. I think that would be a really interesting thing to try out, rather than just, I don't know, having one big mothership that doesn't really seem to achieve very much. Now, obviously, like, in StarCraft 1, the Arbiters had an ability called, I think it's called Stasis. I mean, that would be way, way, way too powerful in StarCraft 2. I mean, it's not like the Stasis Ward, but it basically just threw units into Stasis, like, straight up. Maybe, like, giving them little mini time warps as well would be pretty cool, right? I think that would be cool. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. I think it would be a whole lot better, at least, than the current mothership as it is. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. And that would also actually, like, create more Protoss micro in the late game. So maybe the carrier thing is not even... Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. For now, though, I very much so want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.